So it's been a while since I've done any tag videos, but I love doing these, and when I found the Alice in Wonderland tag, I thought that's fantastic. This is originally a book tag from BookTube, but I'm going to be answering it with both books and films where applicable. Basically, we have a bunch of questions that are kind of related to Alice in Wonderland, and we have to select a book, and in this case a film, that goes with the answer. If you wish to join in, I will leave all of the questions in the description. Number 1, a book with pictures. I would have to say my favourite kind of nostalgic picture books are the Mr. Men books. Those illustrations just bring back so many memories. And for a film, my favourite animated film is not Nightmare Before Christmas, believe it or not. It is actually Corpse Bride. Then we have The Mad Hatter and the Marsh Hare, a story with a riddle. I am going to have to go with Ian Rankin's book The Falls, which is one of his Reeves books, and there is a riddle in this, which is 7 fins high is King, the Queen dines close to the bust. Now I know what it is. I didn't work it out, but once I found out about 10, maybe about 8 years ago, it just stuck in my mind and I've known it ever since. If you can work it out, brilliant, but I couldn't. And for films, there are so many films where there are puzzles and mysteries, but I think one of the most poignant ones is The Butterfly Effect. Those 3 films, I just loved them. Cheshire Cat, a book that takes place in an asylum. So for the book, I am going to have to say The Asylum by John Harwood, which is about a girl who wakes up in an asylum and believes she's one person, but they're telling her she's somebody else. I read it a couple of months ago and I just could not put it down. It was absolutely incredible. And with the movie, I see a lot of films set in asylums, so it's hard to choose one. Gothica was incredible, really amazing film. In terms of mental hospitals, I'm going to say Girl Interrupted, which is it's probably my 3rd favourite all-time favourite film. And also A Nightmare on Elm Street, number 3, which is the one that's set in like a mental hospital. That one. White Rabbit, a book with which you were late to the party. Shamefully, I was quite late to the party with Harry Potter. Now I fell in love with Harry Potter when I was 8, but that was the PlayStation game and the films. I didn't read the books until much, much later, so I was definitely late to the party with actually reading them. And with films, I am very late to the party with both Friday the 13th and Halloween. I've seen both of the films, the first and the second from both serials, and they're fine. But I'm just a little bit late to the party with that enthusiasm as a horror fan. Queen of Hearts, a character you wanted to kill off. Now I should point out that I would never want to kill off the Queen of Hearts. I love her, I love villains. But with this one, for the books, we're going back to Ian Rankin, and I'm going to say Big Ger Cafferty. Big Ger Cafferty is a character in the Rebus series who appears quite a lot. And bearing in mind this is quite a huge book series, there's like 20 or something books, and he's got to be in at least half of them, and I just don't like him. I do not like him at all, so I would happily kill him off in his first appearance. And with films, I would kill off Cho Chang. I know, Cho Chang and Lavender Brown, both of them I would kill off. Both Harry Potter characters, if you were not aware of that. Caterpillar, a character you can relate to. Now I find that there are a lot of fictional characters that I can relate to. That's why I love fiction. I love stories because I often find they're relatable. So this was a very, very tough one. But I think for films, for books, we'll do books first. Books, it's a toss-up between Trelawney, Sybil Trelawney, although I must admit I'm more drawn to Emma Thompson's character than I am to Trelawney in the books. But Trelawney, and also Roberta Steele from Stuart McBride's Logan McRae series. Roberta Steele is like my spirit animal. I absolutely love her. And with films, I'm going to say a kind of hybrid of Susanna and Lisa from Girl Interrupted. That's Winona Ryder and Angelina Jolie's characters. There's so much of myself in those 2 characters, but kind of a hybrid of both of them. Tweedledee and Tweedledum, a book with a battle in it. Now, because I abhor most young adult fiction, which is where battles usually happen, or unless you're reading fantasy, I don't really read that many books with battles. But I have to say, my favourite battle is the Battle of Hogwarts. So I'm going to have to go with the Deathly Hallows. And just to give you a different answer for the film, although my answer really is the Deathly Hallows still, I will say, because I'm Scottish and it would be rude not to, Braveheart. The Walrus and The Carpenter, a character you thought was good but one who turned bad. This was difficult. I can't give a specific answer for the books, but I'm just going to say many, many, many police constables and detectives in the many crime fiction novels that I read. I'd say at least maybe 4 out of 10 crime fiction novels that I read, there tends to be a police officer in it who's guilty of something. And with the films, for this one I chose Jack from The Shining. I love his character. I think he's quite relatable, certainly as a writer, and I mean, before I watched it I knew kind of what happened to the character, but I wasn't expecting it to that extent. So that for me was definitely a good answer for this one. White Knight, a book that made you cry. Oh gosh, okay. So I intentionally avoid things that make me cry because I don't like it. You know, I read fiction and watch films to escape the upset of reality. So I don't really want to go into a world where I'm going to be made upset again, but every now and then I will read or watch something like that. And the first book that came to mind is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. I read this when I was 17 and it's not left me. It's still stuck with me. Very, very emotional. And for films, it's got to be any animal film. I cannot watch animal films, specifically cat films. You know, I can't even watch Oliver and Company or the Aristocats anymore because I just cry. It's pathetic, I know, but I can't help it. But definitely any animal film at all. And lastly, an author who writes under a pen name. Obviously I can't answer a film with this one, but my two favourite writers at this moment both write under pseudonyms, and that's Kathy Glass and Casey Watson. They're both fosterers, foster carers, and they both write stories of the children whom they foster, and I'm addicted to them. That was great fun and a really interesting way of looking at the characters of Alice in Wonderland. I tag everybody watching this, so if you're watching this I tag you to do this video. Let me know in the comments if you do it. I would love to check out your answers and get some recommendations, and I will speak to you all soon.